so I kind of grew up a K-State fan, obviously. My mother went here. My mother was actually born in Junction, so, like, the whole K-State way was the way of the house when I grew up. So the 16 goals, I've been going by those since I was a kid. So, like, just that culture of getting K-State, like, coming here really wasn't that big of a transition because of growing up in that system. But, I mean, it's just, like I said, it's just something growing up with.
What has your dad told you about his playing days here?
Yeah, he talks about it all the time. He brags a lot. He's a good dude. I mean, of course, anybody that was good and it made an impact on an organization, they're going to brag about it. But the main thing, especially that I know you guys are starting to talk about my father, some of the things that I try to hit on are, like, I know that he's been here and he's, like, paved the way from himself. So what I'm trying to do is trying to get out of that and pave the way for myself. That's the biggest thing that I want to do here. So.
Have you found that to be a struggle at all, making it you or Eric Gallen, not your dad's son?
That hasn't been difficult. Everybody here, they treat me as my own person. They have expectations for me, and they don't put my father in that way. So I think it's pretty good having the expectations of me and not really putting my father in the picture.
How excited are you to kind of strap it up and maybe get a go at it here on Saturday?
Good. Like I said, the spring is all about competition. So we've been going at it, competing this whole spring, and to actually, like, go head-to-head this Saturday, especially in front of the fans, that's going to be a lot more energy, a lot more competition, and we're just going to see how it unfolds.
Where do you have to grow the most as a player to earn more time on the field?
Well, right now it's just everything as a whole. I would say I just have to continue to be in the system, continue to mold myself, continue to, even as a person, continue to go to class, continue to do everything right, just in this system as a whole. So I'm steadily growing every day. That's my goal. I want to grow. I want to achieve something new every day, get better every day, eliminate mistakes, give great effort in everything that I do.
When you look at the peers at your position at linebacker, who kind of stands out to you and why?
Everybody stands out. The whole linebacker room, everybody has something that they bring, something different. So, I mean, it's that competition level that's in the room that's good. So everybody bringing something different, everybody competing at the highest level, and that's what we want.
In terms of the guy that kind of biting you guys, if you give up scores, who's usually got the rock in that?
It's probably Schoen. Dalton Schoen. He finds a way to get open, make plays.
Coach praised you a lot today in the press conference. What have you done the last few weeks that have made you perhaps feel more comfortable with your role on the team?
Probably just watching extra film, coming in every night, just making sure I study the role. New position for me, so just showing them that I'm mature enough to step in.
Right. He referenced using you kind of, nickel, corner, maybe in safety. Have you played all over this spring?
Yes, sir. I've played all positions, so it's been going well.
Does any one of those feel more natural to you or more like home than the rest?
Definitely nickel.
Really?
Yeah, I like the position. I like hitting. Even though I'm undersized, I like tackling, so nickel felt right at home for me.
And then you guys are always good at kind of evaluating your peers. What do you think of a guy like Duke Shelley and then A.J. Parker, what their games are like?
Them guys right there. A.J.'s my roommate, so I know him like back of my hand, but they're both great at what they do. Duke, he's been more of the leader, the upperclassman who just teaching us the ropes and everything, and AJ, he's a natural. So
yeah. One last thing, I think Dalton Reisinger last week talked about it being tougher to play against you guys because you're not the same as you were last year scheme-wise defensively. Has it been fun to have some changes under Coach Skylar and Coach Norwood?
Oh, definitely. It's a mixture of everything. You can just go out there, play a game. They won't really put any pressure on you to play a certain type of way. They let you do what you got to do to get the assignment done.
Right.
He don't shy away. He don't turn anything down. We had a couple of scrimmages, with our running backs, how hard they run and things like that. But Daquan and Elijah definitely fit them up in the hole every time they can. So, I'm excited to play with those guys, knowing what they bring to the table. And the biggest thing that I see with them is just speed at linebackers, just running sideline to sideline, chasing things down. It's a beautiful thing.
I apologize if you already been asked this, but without DJ here, do you feel like you need to step up in terms of being a leader?
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely. I lead those guys. The secondary, I'm definitely a leader for those guys. As a team, as a whole, everybody look at me as a leader, being that I played for 4 years here. I think that just comes with it. And on top of that, being the guy that I am and being as vocal as I am, yeah, definitely a leadership role comes along with it. But for the secondary, as far as secondary, I had to be that guy for those guys. So I mean, we have younger guys coming in, stepping up, trying to play, and they look at people who had the most experience, and that's me. So I definitely step to a leadership role.
There's been some talk about adding you to the return game and stuff this year. Is that something you want to be a part of or work on this spring?
Oh, definitely want to be a part of. I think I could change the game in that area, definitely. For us, especially, it's been a big part of our team for years. So I definitely think I can make a big contribution to that.
How do you use Saturday to kind of get ready for preparation for the fall?
How do I use Saturday to get ready for the fall?
You know, to kind of get that atmosphere, to get the feeling back.
Just being able to play in front of your fans and being able to put on the show, that's always great. Being a spring game, we have guys compete, so we're gonna have a competitive spring game, as you all guys know. But definitely just being able to get myself on film, to see myself and see how I perform in front of a crowd, and being able to take that and just learning from it and see what I did wrong and see what I did good, and building off from that going forward.
I'm curious, you probably asked this 5 times today, but how tough was it to redshirt last year and know, as you're on the sideline, that you're not going in the game? Was that tough for you to deal with?
It was kind of tough, but, like, you know, seeing Trent and Jade, and, you know, it was kind of like, you know, I needed that, you know, just to learn and progress my game, because there's, like, things I wasn't well at and things that I didn't know coming from a junior college. So, I mean, I guess I kind of needed that.
Something we talked about last season is they took you to all the road games when they have a limited number in your red shirt. And is that something they discussed with you about wanting to have you there to experience the atmospheres? Or I guess why were they taking you knowing you were going to red shirt?
You know, you just get the feel, and, like, you know, my number could have been called at any time, you know. So just, you know, just for the atmosphere feeling, and just in case they needed me.
Coach Snyder's praised you a lot, you know, today, the last 2 weeks here at these press conferences. How far have you come, you know, since you got here and sat out for that redshirt year compared to today?
I came a long way, actually. Like I said earlier, I didn't really know much coming in. I didn't know what to expect, and now, like, I feel like I'm an older guy, and I can somewhat, you know, step into that leadership role and, like, start leading, because I know more, and I can tell these guys, because I've been through some of the stuff that these older guys been through. So I mean, I feel like I've came a long way from then than I am now.
And then in reference to that answer, you know, Daniel Green's a young guy, for example, at your position, who's experienced this all for the first time. Is he somebody you've tried to help out?
Yes, sir, I have. He's something to watch out for. He's an exciting guy, and I can't wait to see what he does.
I appreciate it. Hey, man, thanks for the time. Best of luck. Thank you.
Yeah, it was definitely tough, you know, that whole stretch at the end of last season to have to sit on the sidelines and watch my teammates practice and play through those games. And then, yeah, there was definitely a chance I was practicing there at the end of the season trying to get back for the bowl game. But, I mean, at the end of the day, the doctors just said it wasn't ready to go, which I'm sure it wasn't. You know, they didn't want to put me out there in a bad situation, but it's definitely tough to have to be on the sidelines and watch your teammates. But, I mean, at the same time, it was a good experience to, you know, get to see them go out there and perform the way they did and go get the win.
How hungry does this make you? How hungry does it make you this spring?
Oh, it definitely makes me hungry, you know, just to go back and kind of try to pick up where I left off last season and continue to improve and get better and build off of what I did last season. And, you know, it definitely hurt to miss those last 3 games. So want to make up for it, I guess.
How about taking the next step? How do you feel like you're taking the next step for next year?
I'm just trying to, you know, do what I've always done since I got here, and that's just continuously improve and continue to get better, because, you know, I got a lot of things I need to work on and improve on. But if I can just, you know, continue to get better each and every day, I mean, that's exactly what I'm going to go do and give the best for my team.
With route running and playmaking ability, what impresses you most about yourself right now?
I'd kind of just say my drive and my will to, you know, go get better, because, you know, Coach Coleman always says, you know, he can coach us up and put us in positions to make plays. And so, you know, I'm just going to try to go out and do each and everything he tells me to do, because I know if I do that, he'll put me in a position to be successful.
You know, I'm a true believer that, you know, with any offense, you can't be successful if you can't run the football. And with our running back core, we got a lot of depth and a lot of guys who can do a lot of different things and have a lot of different skill sets. So that's going to be really exciting to see, and I'm excited for our fans to get a feel for our running back crew, because they've been doing a great job this spring.
Last year, Dalton Reisner said he battled through quite a few amount of injuries. What did it mean to you guys as a team to see him out there battling each week?
it says a lot about Dalton Reisner and his passion for this game and for this football team and for this university. He's always been a really passionate guy, and always puts the team first, and just really wants our team to be successful. And there was times where you could tell Dalton was in some pain last year, but he fought through it, and he did that strictly for our football team because he knew that we needed him. And with playing, having a guy like that in front of you, blocking for you, knowing he cares that much, it's pretty special. Yep.
I was eavesdropping some earlier, and I know they've let quarterbacks call plays in the past. Is that the case of the spring game this year? Going to call your own plays?
They haven't told us, but I'm assuming that's how it will be. But yeah, I'm looking forward to figuring that out.
And then you won't know this answer then probably either, but assuming they do that, do you think they still give you a sense of what they'd rather you ran, or is it really just going to be free reign? You think we're going to do what you want out there?
Yeah, they the past couple of years they give us a wristband with all the plays that we can call out of which personnels, and then if we haven't got a play on the field, they'll say, hey, let's try to run this so we can get it on film or something like that.
I'm going to ask you a really tough question. If you were going to draft for the spring game, I won't make you say offense, you don't upset anybody, but what defensive player would you take first if you were making a team for the spring game?
I'm taking Duke Shelley.
Is it because he's right there?
No, I'm just taking Duke Shelley.
Why him, though?
Duke's been really good this spring. He stepped up, and he's shown flashes of what he's capable of doing. His whole time here, but he's really stepped up and showing confidence, and he's really confident in his ability. He's making every day he's locked up on Zuber, and they both have made each other really made each other better, and I have a lot of respect for Duke in that aspect.
I'm curious, people talk about Dalton Reisner. You have some young linemen probably playing with him out. Who stood out for that group for you this spring?
We've had a lot of redshirt guys that have done really well. There's not one in particular, but Josh Rivas, he's done a really good job. With those guys, it's so much. This is their first time really in the offense, and there's a lot of quick thinking and stuff going on up front with defensive stunts and blitzes and stuff like that, and it can be really hard for those guys. But they've done a great job of learning, and that's what this spring season's all about, is this learning and grasping this playbook to where when we go into fall camp, we're ready to go.
Coach Snyder talked about the possibility of ones versus ones in this spring game. Would you prefer that against playing the twos?
Oh yeah, sure. It's always good to have that kind of competition. It brings out the best in everybody. So that'd be pretty cool.
When you flip the score in the past, when the purple's up big or whatever, do you guys take that game seriously, and are you competitive still when you flip the score, or do you know what the score really was at the end of the game?
It's one of those things it's kind of a drill. You do try to come back from the deficit, but we always still kept that score in the back of our mind.
Sure.
It's just one game out of the 15 practices, or one practice out of the 15. Do you feel like the actual spring game carries more weight than any of the others?
I would say no, not really, because we have had, like you said, 14 other practices before then. That's really where a lot of the coaches take most of their stock in, and we don't really open up our playbook much in the spring game either. So it's the other practices that really matter more.
I asked Sebastian Taylor if he had any players he kind of looked to when he was struggling as a new kid, and he mentioned you. Is that a role you kind of take pride in on this team?
Yeah, absolutely, because I remember what it was like to be that new kid, kind of struggling, not really knowing what to do. And, I like to – whenever I see a young guy struggling, it's always good to pick him up, because especially with guys like him who have potential, you got to just keep them up and let them build off of their own momentum once they really do get going.
What kind of runner is Mike McCoy?
He's physical, he's just a big, strong dude, likes to bully people, and he's got a little more agility than what people would probably think for somebody his size.
I feel like most people just think back to his play against Charlotte. He knocked over the guy. Is he built on that one ability in the last year?
That's something he's always had. That's something he always will have, being as freakishly big and strong as he is. But he's really worked on some of the smaller aspects of his game, like getting out on pass routes, pass protection, and really some of his jukes and stuff have gotten a lot better too.
I know you can't talk about schemes and formations, but do you have a hope that you guys are versatile as running backs enough that more than one you can be on the field at the same time?
Yeah, I think that'll happen a little bit.
men's side of the ball, what impressed you about a guy like Daquan Patton, a linebacker?
I mean, just how much he's grown since last year. Him and Coach Skylar have really grown close. They have a pretty cool relationship. It's cool to see them interact on the field. And just Daquan's football IQ has gone through the roof. He's running around making plays. He's able to identify run schemes and stuff a lot quicker than what he was, and he knows his gap, and he's able to fill it pretty good.
I'm extremely excited, man, just to get in just compete again, in a game type atmosphere, have the fans out there, seeing what we kind of displayed this whole spring, and just hopefully put some points on the board and give you guys a show.
The fact that as a quarterback your running ability might be sort of negated in this type of a format, does that give you more of a chance to show off your arm and some improvements maybe you made there?
Definitely. I mean, obviously, the run game isn't as effective for us quarterbacks because we're two-hand touch, but it definitely gives us quarterbacks a chance, to show what we can do with our arms and, get the ball to receivers who are getting tackled and hand the ball off to our running backs, who are getting tackled and stuff. So it definitely gives us an opportunity, to kind of display our passing game in full effect, I think. And, we're expected to pass the ball quite a bit this Saturday. So I'm excited for that. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to feeding those receivers.
How far do you feel like you've come in that area on throwing the football?
I feel like I'm confident throwing the ball as I'm confident running the ball. I feel like, the complexity of passing game is a little more, more complex, and it's there's certain things, that maybe some fans don't see that we see in the passing game. That's tough, some tough situations, but I feel like just become more comfortable with defenses and just recognition and pre-snaps is what Coach is always talking to us about, and I feel like I and every quarterback on our rosters came a long way this offseason.
What do you feel like makes the spring game so special here?
I just think, like kind of said earlier, anytime you can get around just your teammates, you guys are competing at a high level together. I feel like that it's something special about that. It's something about just having fans there and having that game type atmosphere is extremely fun, extremely just it's rewarding to be around. You got people fired up. Locker room is basically like a game, pre-game. We're all, some people have nerves and all that, and we're just kind of going through it like it's a normal game day. And it's a good practice for us, and it's just good, especially for the younger guys too, to get a feel for that game type atmosphere and kind of what it's like before we go into a game.
In terms of evaluations, do you feel like it carries more weight than the other 14 spring practices?
Not necessarily, no. I feel like the whole spring collectively is kind of one unit. And I feel like we, the 14 practices are huge. That's where we really make our growth. And I feel like the spring game is kind of where we put our stamp on it and kind of show our body of work after these 14 practices.
Why do you think the competition between you and Skylar is making you guys both better?
I think anytime you compete, I've been part of, this is not my first QB competition I've been a part of, but I think anytime you compete, and you guys are so diligent with all the work you put in and just everything, every little detail matters, is definitely something that goes a long way, just as us as individuals and for our team, and I said last week even that I feel like, whoever takes the first snap in September, I feel like is going to get a very, very high product, of the team, and I feel like that's due just to our competitiveness. We compete, like I said, in every single aspect. Whether it's film, workouts, you name it, anything, we're competing. We're front line competing against each other. So, it's fun competing against them. I think it brings out the best in both of us, and it brings out the best for our team.
Are you waiting with bated breath to see who's going to take the first snap in the spring game?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, are you waiting with anticipation to see who's going to take the first snap in the spring game, or does that matter?
Every scrimmage we've been rotating who takes the first snap, so I don't even know who it falls on this scrimmage. We've had so many scrimmages in here. So okay. I'm sure, it'll be like everything else in spring. It's going to be dead even. We're not going to give away too much, but it's going to be dead even probably. And if I take the first snap, he'll follow me, or if he takes the first snap, I'll follow him. So it's probably going to be right down the middle, dead even.
What are your thoughts on Daquan Patton? What strikes you most about him?
Daquan first, dude looks like an action figure. He's extremely big. He's extremely physical. He's a fast athlete. He's a guy, when I get loose on a scramble or something, he's always a guy, chasing me down. And he's definitely a guy I feel like we can utilize defensively. And he's a freak athlete, and I'm excited just to see him progress. He's progressed, came a long way so far, but I feel like over time, he's going to keep getting better and better to put us in a good position as defense.
Do you have any particular mentors that have helped you, like defensive ends or anybody on the defense?
Definitely Reggie Walker and Kyle Ball. They're experienced players. They're the elderly defensive ends on the team, so they're very experienced with the playbook. with techniques, etc., stuff like that on the defensive front. So,
how about Saturday? How important is that to you, just to kind of get on the field and make an impression?
Yeah, I'm excited for Saturday. I'm just ready to take practice in front of fans. I'm excited just to finally show. I haven't taken any snaps yet for this program, so I'm just excited to show the fans, show my family, and just show the program, what I'm capable of.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but your senior year you were injured, right, in high school?
Yes, sir. The last 3 games.
Yeah. So this will be your. Well, did you play much in last year's spring game?
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
But this will be your
second spring game. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Why do you feel like spring games are important when you look at how it benefits a player?
Well, besides big scrimmages, it's just a test. So, this is obviously a test for the defensive line and myself and just the whole team in general as overall. So, it's definitely beneficial because, it's just, like I said, it's just a test, and it just shows everyone what everyone's capable of.
What's the thrill of being able to perform in front of your family, your immediate family?
Yeah, it's a blessing. I have an older brother that plays college football also, so it's just something that's really important to my family and all my fans as well. So.
Very cool. Thank you so much. Good luck to you, Wyatt.
Thanks. Nice
Yep.
to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Where's your brother play?
He plays at Washburn.
Really?
Yes, sir. Yep. He plays wide receiver there, number 85. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's spring been going for you?
It's been going good. You know what? It was a little rough at first, getting back into the groove, practice, etc., stuff like that. I've been here for about a year now, so I've definitely caught on to things. I've had a lot of experience, but like I talked about earlier, it's all about the reps. You got to get better through doing reps. So.
I know last week someone asked Coach Snyder about the defensive line as a whole and was saying like how he thought it was a great unit, and Snyder said, I don't think they've proved that to me yet. So just as a group, how are you guys treating this spring? It's like having a lot to prove.
Yeah, all of our capabilities are there. We the whole defensive line is the front. Overall, worked extremely hard over the off season. I believe that we were the most probably the toughest group of position this off season workouts. Mm-hmm. But overall, from Coach Snyder's standpoint, like we say, besides Reggie and Kyle, the rest of the defensive ends are pretty young and inexperienced. So we just have, like I said, we have shoes to fill and people that need to step up.
I know last week, like another thing that Coach Snyder said was he felt like out of everyone in the entire program that Trey Deshawn had probably been the most consistent guy from the bowl game to now. What's impressed you about him?
Yeah, one thing that I really admire about Trey, he's always relaxed, never anxious, never nervous. He's always same personality, whether it's at a game or whether it's at practice, and he's very relaxed, and that's something that every player can look up to, just because once you get anxious, if you have some anxiety, stuff like that, your mind goes off of something besides the game, and that's just his personality that he possesses. That's a very good trait to have. He's just like always relaxed, just goes out there and balls out.